I went to the coast so that I could collect seawater because I wanted to try and make it into some salt. I filled a big jug with the seawater, and when I got back I reduced it down to a very concentrated brine, and then I put it in my dehydrator. For a long time I've wanted to try and make country wine, which is basically a kind of alcoholic drink that you make by mixing yeast and sugar with some kind of plant that is usually wild, but it can also be things like flowers and leaves from trees. I think my grandmother and her sister used to make it when they were living here. I think my grandma made elderflower wine, but I would quite like to try lilac wine, which is what I got from the garden this morning. To make the wine, you put the flowers that you're going to use into a fermenting jug, and then you add the liquid with sugar and yeast. This is called must, I think, and then you leave it to do a primary fermentation for maybe a week. Then you have to strain it. Okay, there is a lot going on in here. Everything is growing like crazy, and I think I need to plant some things outside. I didn't plant potatoes this year, but I've actually got a few like feral potatoes that I didn't manage to dig up from last year's potato plants. Hopefully I will get some potatoes from those. I also changed the shelf setup inside the greenhouse. I took out the boards where I had sprouted all my seeds, and I made space to put the tomato plants into the ground. Inside the greenhouse, I'm going to try to grow tomatoes. I've got a few different varieties, as well as some pepper and chili plants. Okay, I was just editing some video when there was suddenly a big commotion out in the garden. I could hear blackbird's alarm calling, and so I rushed to the window, tried to open it. I could see in the hedge 2 blackbirds and a magpie, and as I opened the window and tried to climb out, the magpie dragged a baby blackbird from the nest. Luckily, when it saw me, it flew off, but I ran to where the baby had fallen on the grass, and I could see it has blood on the side of its beak. Like a split second later, the baby scrambled off. It looked up at me, looked scared, scrambled into the undergrowth. So then I didn't know what to do, so I've watched it for a while. They've gone away, they don't know where it is. So I took the decision to find the baby. And I've got her, I think it's a her. I've got her in here, but I don't know what to do now because she's got some injury on the side of her face, I guess from the magpie attack. Okay, so she's in here. She's calmed down a lot, which is good, but I'm not really sure what I should do next.
Hello, Robert. What can I help you?
Oh, hi. Is this the Wildlife Rescue Department? Awesome, thank you. I don't know if it needs medical...
Do you want to bring it to us?
If that's possible, then yeah. It's okay, babe. Hello? Oh, hey. Okay, so I've just dropped the baby off at the wildlife hospital. I don't know what's going to happen to it, but I hope it will be okay and they can feed it and then when it's old enough, release it. I feel actually really unsure if I did the right thing. Actually, whenever this kind of thing happens, I'm not sure what the right thing is to do. I don't think there is a perfect answer. I could have maybe just left the baby and his parents might have come back, found him later and fed him. But also there was an injury. I didn't know how bad that was. And I don't think it would have survived the night if the parents hadn't found it or moved it. So I kind of had to make the decision that I made on the spot, and I hope that it will be the best thing for the baby. I feel terrible that I took the baby away from its parents, but I don't know what else I could have done. I left the lilac wine to do its primary fermentation, and then I racked it, which means transferring it from one jug to another. To do this, I used a pump siphon. Once the wine is racked into the new jug, you put it to ferment for a few months before you bottle it. This is my first ever attempt at winemaking, so I'm interested to see how this goes. I also gathered some seaweed at the coast. I really like some kinds of seaweed. My favourite is the really bright green one. I think it's called sea lettuce. you.